Okay, so the quorum sensing tells, helps the spores know who is a commensal and who is pathogenic. With the commensals, they develop metabolites so that they can feed their friends and they can produce customized antibiotics to go after the pathogens and target them. But the primary terrain type of protocol is to help the good guys push out the bad guys, and that's called competitive exclusion. So we introduce the spores first, then we feed them with the oligosaccharides, and this is the long game. If you can feed the commensals and they have a foothold in the population, they will long-term hold the stability of the gut and the integrity of the gut together. So that's the importance of jump-starting the commensals, then feeding them so that they basically take over and hold everything intact. And then the rebuild is done by the megamucosa, where you're adding some IgG 2000 to help with the immune system, to take the burden off of the secretory IgA, some amino acids that the goblet cells will use to rebuild mucin 2, and then some citrus polyphenols to quell the oxidative stress that's happening during that systemic inflammation. So that's, you know, what we've been promoting really the whole last year, and it's been successful. And now it's migrating into a kit. So, and this is probably the most helpful diagram that we use. A lot of our practitioners will get this and laminate it because it's really good talking points to actually visually show, you know, that this is the mucin 1 layer. This is where your microbiome organisms are swimming around like a swimming pool. And the key is to have a lot of different types and variety. So this should reflect your diet. You should have a very wide diet, and that should support a very wide variety of organisms, because they've shown that the more diverse your microbiome, the more adaptive you are to your environment. Because remember, these organisms perform the majority of the biochemical functions of your body. The human genome, if we looked at our DNA, the amount of biochemistry that they do is not enough to support us as a human. We rely on the genetics of these organisms to live. So, you know, we've heard it for years now, the numbers, you know, there's 100 trillion bacteria cells compared to, you know, 10 trillion human cells. You know, they outnumber us in actual number of cells, but more than that, they outnumber us in amount of genetics that we're using to help perform the biochemical reactions to keep us alive. And then that second step, you know, we're adding those oligosaccharides to feed the commensals. And then the third, rebuilding this mucin 2. And you can see how valuable the mucin 2 layer is. It's what is protecting the epithelial cells, the microvilli, the tight junctions, and the underlying immune cells. When that epithelial barrier is breached, and generally that happens because of the endotoxins and the exotoxins that are eating into or degrading that mucin 2 layer. And once the breach has happened, you get a flood of lipopolysaccharide, other toxins, pathogens, undigested food into the lumen of the cell, which is triggering the immune system to produce interleukins, cytokines, and inflammation. And this happens every time you eat, but it becomes metabolic endotoxemia when the gram-negative organisms that produce the lipopolysaccharide overgrow all of the good guys. And they're not necessarily bad guys to begin with. It's about ratio. You know, who is outnumbering it? If you have your keystone strains struggling, then other organisms overgrow. So that's who wins the biological war in your gut. So basically what they've done is they've taken those 3 products and they put them in this very nice box, marketing put together. So you've got 180 capsules. This is a 3-month supply of that Megaspore, and you've got the option of either having the Mega Pre in capsules or in powder, and then you got the powdered Mega Mucosa, the last step. As you can see, you've also got directions. This is actually the first time we've included how to use our products all together. So this is nice to have. And so it's directions are printed right on the box. So hopefully your clients won't lose them. And then this is just showing the options between the capsules and the powders on that Mega Pre. And you know, the advantages, you'll see a lot of practitioners move towards system selling, selling things as programs. And there's some psychology involved in that. Part of it is, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of time having to convince someone, you know, you should go on all 3, that's not really an option. If you want the whole system, the whole program to work, it's intelligently put together so that it builds on each step. But if you get someone thinking that they can do this or they don't have to do that, it becomes, okay, well, what part of it will you do? You know, so the perception, it's a program, it goes together. I think it's easier for patients to understand that it's a package deal. And then we haven't done a discount on the 180 count. And Dr. Kevin had asked about this several months ago because we discount everything else. So it really didn't make sense. Maybe they were just waiting for this because it is part of the discount, because one kit automatically gets a 5% discount. 2 kits automatically get a 15% discount, and we'll see that later in. You know, in some places, space is an issue. There's just not enough shelf space. So, you know, these boxes can easily be stacked. And so for some clients or some customers, these are bigger deals than you might think. And it's packaged attractively. So it does kind of promote itself. And then here are the discounts I mentioned, the 5% with 1 kit, the 15% with 2, and then, you know, for real big operations, it goes up from there. The MSRP is $330, and there is free shipping for 24 kits. It doesn't ship out of the same distribution place as our other products. So that's why there's additional shipping charged. It comes from, yeah, just another location. Okay, so nothing new, same stuff, just packaged differently. If there's any questions, I can, because I've been looking at this for a while, maybe you see something that doesn't make sense, or you have a question about it, that would give me some time to, you know, gather the information and get back to you. So can you think of anything that wasn't self-explanatory or straightforward? And you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I like that it's the 180 cap quantity of the probiotic. I guess I didn't really realize that when I first saw the kit. And so pointing that out was helpful, because just buying, you know, 3 bottles, I think is what you need to do total gut restoration without the kit. I mean, just right there, that's a pretty significant expense. So anyway, thanks for pointing that out.
Good. And then I found, just by the little quick video I did that's posted on my signature block, showing, you know, just throwing the 2 different kits around, helped people realize there were two different kits. So sometimes you just have to see stuff. It doesn't make sense in the description until you're visually looking at it. So yeah, I think that's good. Pictures are worth a lot of words.
Okay. So then where does the IgG 2000 fit in with this protocol?
Okay, the IgG 2000 is actually a component of the mega mucosa. So if you want to use it as a pre-treatment, or if you want to use it to help with any die-off that megaspore might cause, we do have the standalone capsules of mega IgG 2000. So that would be an addition that you would purchase that, start them with that. I generally put them on that a week or two before I start the kit, just to pre-treat them, calm down their immune system, detox them. And for your real super sensitive people, that's a good idea. And if you talk to Dr. Kev, that's probably his standard protocol.
And then one more question, I'm sorry. The Mega Pre in the capsules, I'm assuming that's going to be a slightly different formulation because they're not going to have the flavorings and things like that.
Yes. Yes, so no flavorings, no sweeteners, no colorings. And I hope someday that mega mucosa will be available as that. And I just ask you all to remind me, if that's something you would like, remind me so that I can keep filing case complaints or case files that get the attention of the formulators so that they realize this is a need, a want, and we can go in that direction.
The Mega Pre capsules like that, then, I mean, once you get to step 3, couldn't they just open the capsule and mix it in with their mega mucosa?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people do take it. And if they don't like opening those capsules, you know, the mix of the two powders kind of help each other. The Mega Pre is a little sweet and the Mega Mucosa is a little weird. And so you mix them together and it's tolerable. Go ahead and Dr. Kevin, speak to that since you do that a lot.
Yes, so with the Mega Pre, I actually like recommending people who did not like the Mega Pre before. They said it's too sweet, I just can't stand it. I just say, hey, buy the capsules, open them up, swish them around in the water, like stir it around, and it tastes fine by itself. Like it doesn't taste bad. It still tastes good. It's still sweet because it's a complex carbohydrate, but it's not as bad.
Super. I haven't actually opened the capsule, so that's good information.
Yeah, when I take them, I actually just drop them under my tongue. I just open them up and do them under my tongue, and totally tolerable. But I cannot do the mega mucosa at all. And I don't know if you heard from Jamie or not, but Jamie is not able to tolerate it either. So the kit would be out for us and any clients who tend to have urinary tract issues.
Yeah, and I think that's somehow
and that's
related
because of the citric acid, right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It seems to somehow be related to that citric acid, which is the concentrated antioxidant in there that's you know, helping as a anti-inflammatory. But yes, that is not the first time I've heard that. So thank you for bringing that up again. I'm going to file another case. You know, the squeaky wheels get the grease, so let's squeak.
Yeah, I think as a, just so you know that Biotics has a similar product that they're promoting, and they're promoting it as not having the flavorings and the citric acid and some of the fillers and things. And so just FYI.
Good to know.
They're being competitive. They're trying to be competitive with you guys.
and everybody else is, you know, every other company now has their version of spores, which we are 7 years ahead on that technology. When we test other companies' spores, they don't all go into the spore state and they don't all come out. So that's where we have the intellectual property ownership. And then, yes, in our total gut, other ingredients, we're getting some competition, but you know, competition is good. It makes us up our game, and that information is good too. I'm gonna file a case.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's no more questions on this, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.